Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, dude, your microphone sounds good, dude. I like
Good.
it.
Good. It's working. Yeah. And the light, I think, looks good. I'm not sure about the background with.
I like it.
The
Yeah, that's the thing
microphone
about
coming in
Zoom
and out.
backgrounds, dude. Like it messes it up, but who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
I kind of moved my little filter thing out of the way, but yeah, dude. Like I was saying, man, I want you reading like the Harry Potter series to me on an audiobook, dude. Seriously, I'm not joking, dude. Like we talk about how good your voice is, dude. Like you might want to look into like the audiobook game, dude.
Yeah, I'd have to learn some languages or
How to read.
yeah, how to read. I didn't get that education at WSU.
Start there.
I barely made it through.
Yeah.
No, but like, yeah, I mean, I listen to audiobooks and the thing, I would need to have an accent and, all that fun stuff to really make it big with my voice.
I don't know, man. I don't think so, dude. You just like, I mean, have you ever seen like on a commercial, like slow motion where they're pouring syrup on waffles, dude? That's what your voice sounds like to me,
Like
dude.
the McDonald's guy. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Seriously, dude.
The fries are so delicious. And
Maybe somebody will see this, dude, and they'll be from like an ad agency that has the McDonald's account, dude. And you'll be like the new voice of McDonald's.
I think that guy actually died.
Perfect.
Be honest with you.
Rest in peace. But
get in there right away. I got it.
Thoughts and prayers to him and his family. Rip, but
sorry, I'm stepping in. No, I couldn't do that, dude. What would you do? I'd have to bring you along as my tech.
Yeah. It's perfect. I'm down to do that, dude.
Travel, do whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
Travel to Barcelona so you can read a book in front of a microphone. I'm pretty sure you can do that from your office, dude. So, but
my face looks like paley white with this light. I have to work on that. I think I'm a little too close, but
it's almost winter, dude.
So I need to go tanning.
Yeah.
I need to hit the tanning bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed of your fair complexion. Most dudes would kill for that, Matt.
Yeah. Maybe I should go get a whiskey and make my cheeks all rosy.
Color in your cheeks. Yeah.
That would be nice.
I don't know. I feel like I'm looking nice and bronze on my side, but I spend a lot of time in the sun and I got a little light here that might be throwing a little extra on me, but
yeah,
you
look tanned and relaxed and ready to roll, dude.
Yeah, dude. Waxed and relaxed, bro.
That's all you gotta do. That's all you got to do.
The thing is about this light I have, dude, is it has like a suction cup. I think I was telling you about this the other day, dude. I guarantee during, like, if we talk for 15, 20, 30 minutes, dude, it's going to pop off of there, dude. And like everything's going to go dark, but that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in production.
That's right. That's right. Cut that part out.
Get Tepley to Photoshop it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's going on in the world of sports? Anything? And should we say first, I mean, if you can't tell by looking at this and the backgrounds that we're playing with, I would say that we're either WSU fans or alumni or both, pretty hardcore. And unfortunately, we've been in the news a little bit.
Well, let's back it up before we start to talk about the elephant in the room. So this is episode 1. Right. So let's just do a quick little. So we know each other from Wazoo. Met at Stimson Hall in '94. Played a lot of Sega Genesis. Bill Walsh. Raised a lot of hell.
A lot of stories that'll come. Yeah.
A lot of And then Matt left us and joined a fraternity.
Frat dick. Yeah.
Yeah. Total frat dick. But
tried to get you guys to come along, but you wanted to have the experience of frat life with me being there so you could come to parties without having to actually go through frat life.
Dude, it worked out great. Because I had dude, so like you were my Lambda Chi hookup. I don't know if you ever knew a guy, Bill Bird, that was an AKL. Me and Tepley had beginning golf with him freshman year. He was AKL. He actually lived in Stevenson. It's kind of same as you. I think he joined after first semester. And then we knew like Ben Bauer, Jamin, and Stefan at Fitas. Yeah. And it was just like, dude, that was like enough for me. Like I could always find something going on with you guys, but I could go home and sleep in my clean sheets. And
your sheets weren't clean, dude.
Still not. Dude, they were cleaner than I don't know.
Sleeping on the porch and
I just like, dude, I loved hanging out at Lambda Chi, dude. Like I was up there quite a bit, dude, and stuff, but it was just like, I don't know, man. Like on the porch, it was just like, and this isn't just Lambda Chi, dude. This is like every Friday. Oh, my cousin Rob Weber, SAE. So I had that hook up too. And like that was plenty, dude. Like, but it was just like, dude, the windows were always open. It was 30 degrees or 20 degrees. Somebody was always like,
that's how we kept the sickness away, dude.
I understand that. You know how I kept the sickness away? Going to bed in my own bed with like Nintendo 64.
Yeah, right. Come home drunk, make the trip back to Stimson, fucking put a game in and just go.
Yeah.
Just I'm going to play until I pass out.
Yeah, dude. Mario Kart, Griffey Baseball. Like, you know, you had 80 dudes throwing up all over. I had Yoshi dropping blue shells, bro. I don't know. I'm just making shit up of it.
But I have to admit, when I would make that trek that first semester from the dorm, it was a long hike. I mean, I know it made it even better when you were walking back and you had some beers and whatnot, but it was still a long hike. And, you know, obviously everything's uphill
both ways.
Yeah. So especially with Stimson. Yeah. You weren't living at the top. You had to go down and then up and up and down. No, it was frat life.
So and then the other thing I want to talk about is walnut picking. You don't have to go into like the whole like story, but like where'd that name come from? Because it's something that you brought up and we were just like, yeah, dude, that's unique, it's funny, but I feel like people are going to be like, oh, you guys are picking walnuts, like what's that mean?
So the story is we have a friend and he has twin daughters, and they must have been like 5 years old, and they had a big birthday party for all the friends, and you know, he was still really close with a lot of his high school friends, and they had sent invites out to everybody. You know, I was there, a bunch of other people were there, and we just couldn't understand. There was a group, two families.
Is this a Gig Harbor thing?
No, this was a Tacoma thing.
Okay, but Cougs or just like Tacoma?
Cougs.
Like, okay,
for the most part, Cougs, yes, definitely. And people kept wondering where these people were, and they're like, they said they were going to be here. They RSVP'd, and they weren't there. All of a sudden, the doorbell rings. Now you have to imagine there's a ton of people there. You don't need to ring a doorbell, especially when your friends are there. You just kind of walk into the house. Doorbell rings. They're like, who the hell is that? So
it's the cops.
It's the cops. It's only a 5-year-old birthday, but the cops are coming because we're getting rowdy, too many beers. And so they go to the door and open it, and it's these two couples that are supposed to be there. And they hand the gifts to the family and says, hey, you know, sorry that we are late and we have to go because we've been walnut picking and we need to finish up. But we wanted to drop these off and say hi, but we're headed back out to do that. So these are two families, and these are like families, friends that have been friends for years. I mean, grew up together, not just went to high school together, grew up together. And it was just the weirdest thing. And we started to think, myself and two other buddies, and we were like, man, walnut picking, what an excuse. Like nobody's walnut picking. Like nobody, who goes walnut picking? Like they've never ever mentioned that before, ever. Like, hey, we walnut pick.
I never even thought of it before, bro.
Yeah, because you really aren't I guess you're picking them off the ground. But we decided like, hey, we need to make books for excuses, because that was probably the greatest excuse I have ever heard of. Like, I'm walnut picking. I'm not going to your 5-year-olds. And they had these couples had kids around the same age. And so it was just like, that is the greatest, even though it sucked, it was the greatest excuse that we had ever heard. And so we came up with a plan we're going to make books, and they're going to be called Walnut Picking. And it's going to be walnut picking for Christmas, or, walnut picking for weddings. And we're going to make books of,
it's like the big book of excuses to not attend shit.
Yeah. Of how to get out of all of this, how to get out of all of these events, Christmas, weddings, birthdays, whatever, walnut picking. And it just makes sense. We came up with all of these, and they're somewhere. I know that somewhere, somehow, I still have the walnut picking, all the excuses that we came up with, but we're like, yeah, we're going to put it out for like why you don't want to have sex. Here you go. Here's an excuse. And they were going to be like realistic excuses, but still kind of off the wall, that people would be like, what? Why? I don't get it. And it all came about because these two couples didn't want to come to a birthday party and drop the gifts off because they had been walnut picking and they were going to go back to finish picking walnuts. So that's where walnut picking came from. And literally, when we started this idea, I did research on walnuts and was thinking, okay, what can you put into, what makes walnuts so great and how can it tie in? And when we were talking about doing the podcast, I reinserted myself into the realm of doing research about walnuts and came up with that you usually pick walnuts September through October. What happens during that time for sports? You have college football starting, you have the NFL starting, you have hockey starting. Tonight, I believe, is the first night of the NBA. The Bucks
baseball
started,
playoffs,
WNBA playoffs, soccer. I'm still not sure the soccer schedules.
I'm going to the Timbers tomorrow. Actually, I know what's going on. Not a fan. I'm going for my buddy's bachelor party. He got like the seats right on the field at the Timbers. I can't remember what they're called, but it's kind of like the Diamond Club of. So I know that's going on. But yeah, so it's like, so the whole like concept is like, I'm going walnut picking, which means like I'm watching sports. That's like your excuse. If somebody's like, yo, can you come to my kid's birthday? I want to watch the Cougs game, but I'm going to tell them I'm walnut picking.
You're an excuse. Find an excuse. Yeah. I'm going to go pick walnuts. This is the time. I mean, probably the greatest time of the year with all these sports that are happening right now. And it's a great, like, I'm going walnut picking. You have an excuse now. Every guy, every girl, every kid, you have an excuse now to say, I'm going walnut picking.
No one's going to push back on that. They're going to be like, oh, I like walnuts. I wish I knew how to pick them. Maybe we should go walnut picking with Matt and Jubal next year. That sounds awesome.
Yes. No. And the thing is a lot of times people aren't going to want to go with you, but they're going to tell you like, oh, that's great. You're going to go outside, get some fresh air, up through, I think this week here in the Northwest, we've had ideal weather. I mean, it's been absolutely gorgeous on the weekends, throughout the week. So it's the greatest time to just say, hey, I'm going walnut picking. Take your ass to a bar, sit on a bar stool, have some nuts or whatever, popcorn, and watch the ball game. I think it's getting darker, so you might have to do it more on like Saturdays and Sundays to do that, since you'll have daylight during the day. But I think that's where the idea came from. I just, excuses,
foolproof,
coming up with excuses.
Yeah. And if they're like, yo, how was walnut picking? You could be like, it was awesome. I'll bring you some. And you can just like roll through Fred Meyer and get them like a little bag and put it in a bag and be like, here you go, dude. This organic artisanal stuff, dude. I picked it off this 90-year-old woman's trees, dude, like by hand. And no one's going to know.
Well, and just, I mean, it's real easy it was easy for me to do a search and explain like what you need to do. And so if you have that small little process down, that quick process to say, hey, we have to dry them out. So let's put them let's put them close.
I don't think anyone's gonna ask, dude. I think
But
you've like overthought this, dude. I
I'm
don't think anyone's gonna be like, well, how do you do it? Maybe.
well,
I
if you want
guess.
it to be believable and be able to have it keep working every single Saturday or Sunday,
Yeah.
you know, you could.
Or you
Anyway,
could just be like, I'm gonna go to the bar and watch the Cougs.
you could
But
say that, yeah.
yeah.
And take your significant other with you if you wanted to, or your kids, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that too, but
Yeah.
it's more fun to have an excuse.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we've got that covered, we don't have to talk about it again. We can refer everybody to the first 40 minutes of this episode for your explanation.
We do take questions, though. We will take questions if you have questions
about walnuts.
About walnuts,
yeah. Okay, so obviously, like, one big story we want to talk about, and it's not like it hasn't been covered enough, but we were just talking about the Kraken real quick, just because you had your shirt on. We got interrupted, but I was just going to give you a quick score check.
I saw it was like 6-1 last night. I don't know what it ended.
They lost 4-2 to the Devils tonight. And then Saturday, first home game against the Vancouver Canucks. So that they've been on the road, dude. New team, never really played together besides practice. They won one. I think they're 1-3 now. 1-3, 1-4.
Yeah.
1-3-1.
1-3-1. Oh, tie.
Yeah. Overtime loss gives you a point, I think. I'm still trying to figure it out, dude. This is just what I've heard. But the what's it called? Not Climate Change Arena, Climate
Pledge
Arena open tonight for a
Foo Fighters concert.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known that. That would have been awesome to go to. It'd
be super awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
we'll get into hockey. I think Jubal will admit, as I will, that hockey is something that I watched. I watch at least during the Stanley Cup finals. So playoff hockey, fan of. Obviously going to be a fan of the Seattle Kraken. I think it's awesome that we have a hockey team in Seattle.
Who wins a championship first, the Kraken or the Mariners?
The Kraken. Sorry.
Probably. No, dude. Hey.
Sorry to all you Mariner fans out there.
You know I'm ride or die, dude.
You are ride or die.
Yeah, I know. Glutton for punishment. Okay. All right, Matthew. Tell us what happened in the wide world of Washington State Cougar football this week.
Just a little breaking story. Nick Rolovich out as WSU head coach. I think everybody knows that, or at least for the beginning here, that people are going to realize that there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of back and forth. I'm not on a lot of social media, but the social media I am on, there's been a lot of back and forth going between Coug fans, between big donors at WSU, other outlets, just talking about how this had to happen. And some of these people have been saying this for a long, long time. We didn't know what was going to happen. I think for the both of us, for Jubal and I, we're not going to be very political here. I don't think this is a place to get political. Obviously, there will be opinions expressed, but I just, it's hard. It's hard to, I'll start with Rolo and being let go. Okay.
Let's bring it all the way back to who Rolo is for just anybody under a rock. I know that, this is first episode. It's going to be mostly our boys watching this. They all know, but in case somebody Googles Rolovich on YouTube and finds this, talk about who he is, where he came from.
Nick Rolovich, he coached 11 games at Washington State University for the football program. He came from Hawaii. He was hired after Mike Leach left for Mississippi State. Brought him in. He embraced the Pullman community right off the bat. Everybody thought this was the greatest coaching hire in a long time for WSU, and everybody bought into the hats that he wore, and it was great. I think there's a lot of support behind him when he came to Pullman, especially with Pullman being such a small town. Again, out for those who don't know, out in the middle of southeastern Washington, in the wheat fields. The community is small when the students aren't there. It, I don't know, quadruples when the kids are in school.
I was there 2 weeks ago, and when's the last time you were in Pullman?
I don't know, couple 3-4 years ago.
So I was there for the Oregon State game, and it's grown quite a bit. I mean, there's a lot more apartments and houses, and like out where, do you remember where like McDonald's and Safeway was? Mm-hmm. Like there's a Walmart out there now, and like other stuff or whatever. There's another McDonald's, like, but it's still like, I would assume the population of Pullman non-student, like in the summer, is probably still less than like 6,000 people.
Yeah.
And I think there are 30,000 students now. That might be network wide. I don't know if that's just in Pullman, but it's like 5x. Like it's a college town. Yeah. Like it's run by students. It's all about the university football, so, but
and I think we'll get to that point, because I think that's where people get a mixed message about what Washington State University is. So Rolo came in, obviously COVID happened. He coached 4 games last year.
I just remember one other point you made. I just remember it was right before COVID. Remember the Pac-12 tourney last year? I don't think it happened. So I guess it was 2 years ago. I don't think there was a basketball season last year, right?
No, there was a basketball season. We had March Madness 2020, didn't we?
What
year are we in? I lose the years, stupid.
It's all a blur, but I just remember the Pac-12 tourney. The Cougs beat Colorado their first game, and then that was it for the tourney, and that was it for the season.
Oh yeah.
And then I think last year maybe there was a full postseason. So this is 20. So this would have been March 2020.
2020. Yep.
Yeah. Because March 2021 was 6 months ago.
Yes.
Or 7 or whatever. And Rolovich was there. And I just remember him and Pat Chun congratulating, what's the basketball coach's name? Smith?
Yeah.
Or is that the baseball coach?
Nope. Smith's right.
And it's like, dude, this is sweet. Like Leach would have never done that. Leach would have never even known that there was a basketball game on, dude. But like, and I was just like, dude, that's kick ass, dude. Like Rolovich is like invested in like the university and the athletic department, dude, is what I felt like. So, but
no. And I mean, that goes back to the point of he embraced the community, this small farming community. He embraced it, and people loved him for that. And that's what it is about being a Coug. And I know every college can say that, and that's awesome that you can say that about your college, that everybody loves it, and they love going back there to watch sporting events, or just going back there and popping in on a travel to Idaho or whatnot. But everybody embraced him, and which was good. I did. I thought it was a good choice. I thought we were going to move forward from Leach. We're going to get more consistency. And I don't know if I mentioned it, Nick Rolovich came from University of Hawaii, where he's a football coach there.
Yeah. He played there. He was a quarterback there.
Yep.
And then when I think he played in like the Euro League and kind of bounced around a bit, and then he ended up there. He's like a June Jones acolyte or whatever,
Yes. Yeah, he was on that coaching tree, the June Jones coaching tree. So
run and shoot. I just remember he was like pretty active on social media, but not like, douchey about it. Like he was just like all in, dude. He seemed like he was just like all in on everything, dude. Like he was just like, I'm in Pullman, dude. Like I'm supporting everyone. I'm all about this. Like help us rise up. Like, And I think he was always like that. I keep talking in the past tense, dude, but I think he was always like that. But this other circumstance derailed everything, but we can talk about that more. Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
No, interrupt. No, I just think, I don't, again, I can go back and I mean, we can talk about the June Jones coming out last Sunday and saying, hey, I had a conversation with him. It's for religious, he's getting exemption for his beliefs. And, I told him what I thought about that. Again, I don't want to get into those politics on religion, but, it was one of those things that Nick Rolovich woke up to and did not know it was going to happen. And he read the article and was like, okay, now I guess it's out there. He did say he didn't like the way it came out, and he wished that none of his players ever have to wake up to something like that. So, that's a good point to say that he was in the June Jones coaching tree, and he, if you will, however you look at it, he sold him out, if you will, if you look at it that way. And
so what did June Jones say? Was he like, I don't disagree with it? Or was he just like, it's a religious exemption? Like no one knew that before June Jones put it out there, or what?
Nobody knew. That's one of the things that people were not happy with, is he was so secretive about it. And when he came out and said, no, I won't be getting the vaccine, and that's the end of it. Like, I'm not talking about it anymore. And I think that's where a lot of people have come back and taken a look at it and said, all you had to do was really say, and this is just for a fan base who is looking at this from the outside, is if you would have come out and just said, hey, my religious beliefs are my religious beliefs, and this is what I believe in. But there was nothing. There was people were wondering, what is it?
Well, that was in like July. He put some statement out that was like, I'm not getting vaccinated. That's all I'm saying about it, or whatever. And then he didn't go to like the Pac-12 coaches conference or whatever, media day. Yeah. And everyone was like, well, why? What's going on? What the heck? Or whatever. And then, okay, so then June Jones put that out there, and then all the last 2 weeks have been all about like the exemption. Is it going to happen? Is he going to get it? And I think the other thing too is for people that can't imagine anybody's going to watch this that doesn't live in Washington or Gig Harbor.
Yeah.
But this is a state mandate. This is a state mandate that says all state employees have to be vaccinated by yesterday, October 18th. He chose not to. He tried to get the exemption, and
which we don't know. So you can get the exemption. It can be your exemption can be accepted, but your employer then needs to be able to, are there accommodations for your position that we can make for you? So that's either like you traveling outside for recruiting and going into other people's homes. You need to do that. You need to travel and fly into these states. And if you're not vaccinated, you're not going into people's homes. You're not going to be able to do that. So we don't know. I'm saying that, but we do not know if his exemption was granted or denied right there. If it was accepted, then yes, it's up to the employer, which would have been Washington State University, to do those accommodations, from what I understand. So,
well, I heard that everyone I don't know if this is at the WSU level or at the state level, everybody that requested the exemption, it was blind. Like they didn't know, like, this is Nick Rolovich, head football coach. He wants this exemption. I'm not sure if it said the details of this person's job, which are going to kind of let you know who he is, but
that's where the accommodations come in. So no, they didn't know the details of somebody's job. Like you said, it was blind. So those applications came in. It was blind. Like you said, somebody took a look at it, had no clue who this person was. There was no information about their job. And so if they said, no, we're not going to approve this exemption, and then that was it. You're not approved. Whereas if the exemption was approved, then it went to the employer for accommodations for that position. So if they said, your position needs you to travel and go into homes to recruit, to, be with people's families, whatever it is. If your employer cannot accommodate that, then you have two choices. You either get the vaccine or you don't have a job to go back to.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stress that we do not know if his exemption with the state of Washington was accepted or denied, or we do not know if it was accepted if the university said we cannot accommodate your exceptions.
But it's one of those two. Either
Correct.
Either the what's it called? The exclusion, or what's it called?
The
medical
exemption.
Either the exemption was denied or accepted, and if it was accepted, then by the state, then the university said, well, it's still not good enough for this role, so you're out.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Correct. Yep. I think what the stat last night was something like there was like 100 people at Washington State University that were denied, or accommodations weren't made. So if you think about it, I mean,
I read 53.
50.
Yeah.
So
I was going to bring this up. 53 out of 10,000 employees. So it's like half of 1%.
Yeah. And you think
5 of them are on the coaching staff.
10% were on the coaching staff.
Yeah.
So again, that's what they believe in. And, it's sad that it happened, but it is what it is. I mean, I look at it this way, and this is the way I've always kind of looked at it, or I've looked at it, is that, and I think we all get trapped in it. I think all of us look at it this way, that WSU, and people are going to laugh at this, but I think people look at it as Washington State University is a football school. Yes, the football program, that money is spread out across all of our sports. So yes, in that sense, Washington State University is a football school. When in reality, and I say that because like I've been seeing back and forth on social media, as people are getting into these arguments that I'm not going to give to the Cougar Athletic Fund anymore. I'm not going to do it. They just got rid of this coach. We were winning, blah, 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 blah. That's fine. I completely understand that. That is your right to do that. The way I look at it is that Washington State University is a research and science university. That's what we are. We are federally funded, and we get federal grants to do research. And, we just had in May the first graduating class of the Washington State University School of Medicine. So it's not like this is something new. This is not like, we just got into research and science. This is who we are. This is the core base of who Washington State University is, in that sense of research and science, research agriculture, research in medicine. That's what we do. I mean, that is the university. I have made, I graduated from the Moreau, now the Moreau, Edward R. Moreau School of College of Communications, right? You did too. And
look at us now.
For being podcast superstars. But I give to my communication school from the program I graduated. I give money to them. I also have given money to the Cougar Athletic Fund. I don't do that on a yearly basis. I was a season ticket holder for 9 wins and 40 losses during the Paul Wolf year. That was awesome. But going back, I mean, that's what we are. We are a research and science institution. That's what we do. And so when you go against that, you're going against the actual university. It doesn't matter if you're, a comm teacher, or if you're a teacher in education and you decide not to get vaccinated, or the head football coach. I'm sorry, but that's the brand. The WSU brand is not a football brand. Our logo is cool. It looks good on uniforms, but our brand is as a research and science institution.
Yeah.
And, I'll move on from that because we want to do sports, but that's at the core. That's who we are. And, I know that people say I'm done giving to the Cougar Athletic Fund. That's fine. That's your decision, just like everybody's decision. Everybody had a decision in all of this. Some people chose to now give more money to the Cougar Athletic Fund. Some people are choosing not to give any. We had coaches on our football program that decided not to get vaccinated. We have some who did, and they still have jobs. So, it's, again, we go back to the personal choice and to do it. Yeah, you made a choice, but you have to live with the consequences. Yeah. You just have to live with those consequences. And that's what's tough.
I think for me, what it all comes down to is, and it's like, I'm not trying to take a side like politically, and it's just, to me, I'm just can't believe this turned into a political issue, like vaccines in general. Pre this Rolovich thing, just like, this is an FDA approved vaccine for something that's killed 700,000 Americans and millions worldwide, right? And the state put out a mandate that we're going to mandate vaccinations where we can, because they can't mandate it for you and I, right? But what they can do is say, we're going to mandate it for this large pool of people who happen to work for us. And in theory, that the more people are vaccinated, that this thing's going to go away faster. And I would argue that in Washington, the rates are lower than places where they're not doing this, and the death toll is lower. Yep. And if you don't like it, then vote out Inslee. Don't take it out on the Cougs, dude. Like Pat Chun and Schultz, like, they're employees of the state. They are doing what came down to them. And I'm not saying vote out Inslee, because I'm not getting into that.
Made it political.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, it's not about the Cougs. Like, if Jimmy Lake at UW didn't get vaccinated, if Mark Few at Gonzaga didn't get vaccinated, well, not Mark Few, that's private school, but like Jimmy Lake would have gone through the same thing. He got vaccinated. That's the same thing I would have done if I was making $3 bills a year. But my, religious kind of views are different than Rolovich's or whatever. Yeah. And hey, he stuck to his guns. Like we said, like, great coach. I was super excited for him. I, hope that things work out for him. I don't, I would have done things differently, but it's not about the university. It's not about Pat Chun. It's not about President Schultz. It's about a state mandate. He's a state employee, right or wrong.
He's the highest paid state employee.
I thought he made 3 and Lake makes 3.1.
Maybe we'll have to check that stat.
Either way, dude, he makes a shitload, or did. But if you don't like it, then vote out Inslee. If you're good with it, do that. But like, keep investing. If you're an alumni and you're watching this, keep investing in the university. Not just the football program, but
the university. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Like, you graduate from Washington State University's College of Business. Give to entrepreneurship or whatever. Yeah. Your money can go there. Filter it another way. I don't think it's fair to the student athletes. And I say that, I shouldn't say that it's not fair, because I should do my job too and give money to the Cougar Athletic Fund. But yeah, find another outlet to give that money to, if you're not. And again, going back to, I just think things would have been a lot more respectable as a Washington State University community to be able to at least say, like, hey, I have religious beliefs that's why I don't want to get vaccinated. But when you don't talk about it, you make that decision not to talk about it. I mean, again, it's none of my business what your reasons are. And honestly, I don't care, but in that role as a high profile employee at Washington State University, there's consequences to that. And that's, goes back to all of that. And I mean, ask Kyrie Irving about consequences to his action. He's going to lose $16.4 million this year. It's like $381,200 per game played at home. I mean, that's pennies. I mean, $3 million for Nick Rolovich compared to 16.4. I mean, hey, I guess,
Kyrie's going to be fine.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Nick Rolovich,
he'll be fine. Somebody will pick him up.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the direction the Cougs are going.
Yeah.
We're playing good football.
Yeah, it's just sad, dude. The whole thing just sucks, really dude. Sad. Like, but that's like a bigger conversation, dude. Is like the whole last 2 years is like nothing makes sense, dude. It's kind of like,
it's true.
Okay, Pat Chun can be our punching bag for this and everything else I'm frustrated about with COVID right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm over it, kind of, but whatever. I don't really want to talk about Rolovich too much more, dude, because I think not today, but I'm just saying, like, next time I'm sitting on your patio, dude, like, I don't want to spend an hour talking about Rolovich.
No, we're gonna move on,
because we're gonna be hearing his name for the next 3 years, dude, and he's gonna be doing all this stuff. But hey, wish him well. Hope it works out. Wish it could have worked out differently at Wazoo, because I was 100%. Really excited for him. And that's kind of it, dude. But it was like, crazy times and a state mandate. And I think everybody's pissed that there's a state mandate. But 100%. Like, dude, that's how you like stomp out like epidemics, dude, is you make some big choices. And half of the governors aren't doing that. So that's why it's just the whole division between this, like, dude, if there's like a polio outbreak, you don't think everybody'd be like, you got to get the polio vaccine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how come that's not happening? Because people don't think COVID's a real thing. How come that is a fact? Because, it's a mess. All of it's a mess of misinformation, and each side thinks the other side is, and that's the other thing, dude, is like there's two sides to everything, and you're either with us or against. Just like the whole thing. I'm just like, it's like, dude.
Yeah, it's like an absolute, like one or the other. Like,
you're
taking away my freedom to choose this. So, I mean, again, starting to get political there. But
what do you think about defensive coordinator Jake Dickert is going to step in as the interim head coach? He's also going to continue to lead the defense. What do you know about Dickert?
From what I have seen over the last couple of days and at his presser today, he's pretty on point. I think he's the person. Obviously, this is going to sound crazy, but he's the person I think we need right now. I think, if you look at on social media, like, he has a pinned picture on the Bluebird app that of him getting his second shot back in May. And, he's saying that he did it to show that to use his voice and his outreach as at his position at Washington State University and in Pullman. I think that's more important. Like, he wasn't just showing his players. He was showing that he's part of the Pullman community. And we know, in Pullman being a small community, that, I mean, there was huge when the kids went back to school last year. Again, the years are crazy. That there was huge, like, Whitman County just spiked big time. And so, like, that's not just showing like his guys, his football team guys. That's showing the community of Pullman, Washington, that he cares about the community. that he cares that that he's doing his job to curb the outbreak, whatever, and to show like he can. That's leadership to me. I know that the guys on the football team love Nick Rolovich. I'm sure. I mean, you and I have sat here and said, like, I would love to have him as my head coach, but didn't happen. So Dickert, I just think that speaks a lot to who Jake Dickert is that pinned tweet on social media that shows him getting a shot. I mean, that was in May. And I just think that just shows leadership for the Pullman community over anything else, is to show that he's doing his job. And I know he said today that, and I know it's nothing new, but he did say like he's a firm believer that adversity is life's greatest teacher. I think to put in that what you and I have talked about too is your actions have consequences. So that's part of it is, people's actions are going to affect the way that your life continues. And, you have to be able to pick yourself up. And I think these guys will. I mean, you think about some of these seniors on this team. You think about Jahad Woods, who's sixth year. He lost Tyler. He lost Tyler Helinski.
Yeah.
He lost Bryce Beekman. 3 coaching changes during that time? 2? Leach, Rolovich. I don't know if he was there during that. But I mean, there's a lot going. COVID. I mean, there's a lot that these guys have had to put up with.
Well, what was that one kid's name that was talking about? I think it might have been the I can't remember if it was like an NIL thing or if it was like but Rolovich was like, yo, if you go down this path, it's going to come back to haunt you.
Cassidy Woods.
Yeah. That was, wasn't that like this past summer or maybe
2 summers ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean I think that's when people started to think about, wow, this, our head coach, I mean,
isn't perfect.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
He's not the guy that we thought he was. And I know, again, that can go either way, back and forth. But I think that's when a large portion of people started to draw their own opinions. And I know on social media, a lot of people have said like, hey, it's just kind of been issue after issue after issue. And that's what's tough, but these young men who are going out there on every Saturday and when playing for Washington State University, a lot of those guys have been through a lot. And I think, I would like to point people to social media, whatever social media you use, is to go and seek out Jaden Deloria's post that he did last night in regards to Nick Rolovich, the team. I think it's great. It's a great read that I think people, Coug fans and non-Coug fans, would be impressed by this young man in the way that he's conducted himself. I mean, it's got to be hard.
Well, he's Rolovich's guy. He's Hawaiian. Went to the same, what's it called, King's High School? Isn't that what it was? The same place that Gesser went? What's it called?
St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis. That's right. Yeah. But I think Rolovich probably had him. I don't know if he would have went to Hawaii, but I think Rolovich. Yeah.
I think if Rolovich wasn't hired, because Jane Delore is a Leach guy. Mike Leach.
Oh, no kidding.
Recruited him. And so I don't think if Nick Rolovich, and I don't know, I don't want to, just one thing I want to try to avoid on this is to put ideas into people's heads, but it would be interesting to know, let's just put it that way, if Jaden Delore would have stayed at WSU.
He's staying. Wait.
If Nick Rolovich was not head coach, the head coach hire after Mike Leach.
Oh, would Delora have still committed?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't. And again, I'm just throwing that question out there. I don't know. I'm not trying to make anything up. I'm just saying it would be interesting to know if that played any role into. I mean, if we would have hired somebody who was, let's run the ball 30 times a game, Jay Delore is not going there.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'll back up. I don't think Jaden Delore would go there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a quarterback. He wants to throw the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and so with the run and shoot, he had that opportunity as well. So yeah, it's just, I mean, it's tough. You know, I can get into, you know, I lost 3 of my fraternity brothers to suicide. And so, you know, and 2 of them in college. And so it's, you know, the pain's real. And obviously, you know, these guys, it's not something that goes away. And so it's got to be tough for those guys, man. I mean, I just
talking about Helinski.
And Bryce Beekman. Oh yeah, for Helinski, but you know, with the death of Bryce Beekman, it's just, it's got to be difficult for those guys. And you know, I hope people show out on Saturday to show their support for them. But
I'm thinking about going to the Arizona game. It's the Friday before Thanksgiving. Got tickets, got a parking pass. Want to take my daughter over there because she's talking about maybe going to WSU.
Nice.
But she's never been. And I took my wife there for the first time for the Oregon State game. And she's just like, this is actually pretty dope. So now it's like everything changed. But I'm going to try and show up. You know, I hope everybody else does. I just, it's like, don't put it on the kids, dude. Like they're rolling shitty circumstance, but, you know, get past it.
Yeah. No, and I think, you know, for now, we'll see at the end of the season. I hope, you know, I know Chun said today that Jake Dickert he's in the conversation for head coach. Obviously, let's see what happens. But I think, you know, again, this speaks volumes when you look at it. I know I saw as well from him today that he did say that, you know, he had to explain to his daughter what happened to some of her friends, meaning the relationship she had with the other coach's children. Like he had to explain, like, this is what's happened. That's tough, man. You know, I mean, you have to have that conversation as well with them. So, it's interesting. But
so who else was gone? Ricky Logo, John Richardson, Craig Stutzman, Mark Weber.
Yep.
So what are? So what do they all do? What's Logo?
Stutzman was the offensive coordinator. He was another coach. I think Logo was the line coach. I think cornerbacks coach as well.
So what are they going to do this week? Like how are they going to backfill them, dude? Like where do you grab some guys out of Pullman High School?
Maybe. No, I guess, like, you know, the graduate assistants, the GAs, they can, you know, pull them in. I know there's people, you know, that's where what I read was that's where they're gonna, you know, look to was like internal, like GAs and
associate athletic directors and stuff like that, like former players and stuff like that.
I don't know how far it goes down, but I know that it was looking at, you know, the graduate assistants and whatnot to elevate them to those positions. So I think Dickert's still going to be doing DC jobs, you know, be head coach and defensive coordinator. So it's
BYU's only favored by 2.
Yeah, and I did see something interesting today that had a like comparison that like, and I don't know where it came from, so I probably shouldn't even bring it up, but it was like 55% like Cougs were going to win and they were going to score like 30.2 points, and BYU is like 47% going to win. They were going to score like 28.5 points. So it'll be interesting, man. I hope our guy Borgie gets the ball a little bit, you know, pass him, use the tape. Maybe we do some play action. That might work a little bit too.
I'd like that.
Yeah, so we'll see. But
Game I went to against Oregon State, dude, he was throwing a lot of blocks. He did rattle off one touchdown, but I think last week he had like 84 and 2, which isn't bad, but I would love to see Max Borg have like 172-yard game and 3 touchdowns, and McIntosh get 2. But I don't know, 2-point spread. That's why we got to get Stefan on here. He can break it down. I'm sure he's researched it all and already has his parlay together, but yeah, 12:30 kickoff. I'll be watching it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Won't do we know? Are we on probably 12:30? We're on Pac-12 network, huh?
I don't even know.
I would imagine we don't even get like the FS1 games anymore.
They should bring game day back, dude, this week.
Yeah, BYU. Coug on Coug crime. Yeah, got that. Yeah, man. You know, I think it'll be good, if you will. I mean, can anything really be good right now? But you know, we all face adversity, and it's again how you come through.
It's on FS1.
FS1, nice.
At 12:30. Yeah.
A little more accessible than the Pac-12 network.
Yeah. I got them both, but yeah, I bought this streaming service called VidGo just because it was like the cheapest one that had Pac-12. It's like $50 a month, dude. So I'm paying like $50 a month just to watch Cougs, but that's like $12.50 a game if they play every Saturday. I mean, it's cheaper than going to a bar, dude. Well, I mean, I've done the like cord cutting thing where I didn't have it. And I'm like, all right, let's go to the bar, dude. And then it's like $80 a game.
Yeah.
You know, ciders.
Yeah, it's just, you would think that's one thing. And I hope that's one thing that the Pac-12 does is they work on their own like streaming channel, their presence within. Yes. I mean, I can go on my Roku and download the Pac-12 network app.
Yeah.
But it says coming soon.
Oh, well, that's something.
That's something. I wonder how long it's been on there. That says coming soon.
Well, dude, it's like we were talking about the other day, dude. It's like, I remember like when we were kids, like get home, get off the bus, dude, turn on channel 11 in Seattle. It's like Mariners. It's like antenna, just Mariners, dude. Seahawks on NBC, channel 5. Huskies were always on like channel 4. Cougs, I don't know. I wasn't really into the Cougs then, but
yeah, and that's and now, I mean, Root's stolen the Blazers away from all the people down here in Portland.
Well, they got the Blazers, Kraken, Mariners, and somebody else, like the Sounders too, I think. And Root just like, they're like streaming on Fubo, which doesn't have Pac-12. So if they had Pac-12, I'd probably just get that and call it good. But I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
First world problems.
First world problems, right? Where are you gonna watch something?
Where are you gonna Walnut pick?
This weekend? Probably the backyard.
Yeah.
Maybe have a fire.
Nice.
Watch it on TV.
Aaron's going to Hood River for like a birthday party, kind of a girls trip. So our niece's husband and his 3 kids are coming over here. We're going to barbecue elk burgers. They're going to play. We're going to watch the game and hope for the best, I guess.
Yeah. No, that sounds, it's not supposed to be too rainy in our area, I don't think, this weekend. I think some rain coming through, but
I don't know that, dude. I thought 100%, bro. Yeah, from here on out, man. 100% Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So good thing you guys, Saturday 65%, according to the kind of people at Google. So, but you got that little patio cover, you'll be fine.
Yeah, we had a fire out there Saturday for the Cougs game, so it was nice.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Yeah, let me I just want to just kind of follow up with a little bit that we talked about just real quick. I know this has been kind of long. I know you and I have both said like politics and sports, and then we want to stay out of like the politics and aspect of that. But then
we go.
No. I was just thinking, you know, you have politics in every single moment that you're in sports. In high school, I lost friends because I was, I made the varsity and, got more playing time, that were older than me. And, uh,
humble brag.
There, no, I'm just saying, like, there's, my parents lost friends because of that, because they had kids and they didn't want to be around because they thought their kids should be playing. I'll put this in. When I was playing high school basketball, every year we'd go to, every summer we'd go down to Pepperdine University and play in a team camp down there. And I was fortunate enough to play with Chris Griffin and Ike Fontaine, who went to Jesuit, and I got to play against them, their team. They were teammates. And then I actually got to play with Ike in the All-Star pickup game that we had there. And
wasn't Dickerson down there too?
No, Federal Way wasn't down there. But I had a conversation with Ike probably last time I was in Pullman, so like 4 or 5 years ago, and talked to him about, like, hey man, we played against each other in high school at Pepperdine. He's like, oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember going down there. So much fun. I was like, yeah, man, like, they were recruiting you so hard. And he's like, was it that obvious? And I was like, oh my God, yes. I mean, everything, like politics. He won every major award, which he deserved. Ike was by far the
Pepperdine was recruiting him.
Yes, Pepperdine was recruiting him hard, and they should have. I mean, by far, he was the best player at that team camp. But he won all the awards, got everything. So, I mean, that's politics as well in sports. So,
yeah,
I just want to throw that out there to say, yes, there's going to be times that we will have conversations that will be in the political sense with sports, and we'll keep them that way. I know both of us want to talk sports, and coming off of this Nick Rolovich thing, hopefully we can move forward and start talking about sports and bring some of that good content together. And I think for me on this, and I think you and I have discussed long enough, and or we have discussed before, and we've been friends for 27 years. I can't believe it's been like 27 years since we've been friends.
That's crazy.
That, like, our goal on this podcast is to present a raw podcast that shows empathy and authenticity.
100%.
Yeah. And that, with obviously we started with the occasional story that very well may make you pee your pants. That might happen because we have amazing stories that we'll be able to get into, but we want to have fun. We want to have in-depth conversations. So I'm excited to go on this journey and keep being creative.
We should get Ike Fontaine on here.
Yeah, let's do it.
That'd be hilarious, dude.
Ike will want to come. How many followers you guys got? Like,
counting us
11, and they're all like really close friends, and we're actually paying them to sign up for our podcast. So so Jubal's right. There's only 2 that aren't on the payroll, and that's him and I. So there'd be 2 of us. Like, no, I mean, it's just, he's so approachable. I will get off that. I mean, it was good to have conversation, but
yeah, no, that's a good call out, man. Yeah, politics is part of life, part of sports. Yeah. So yeah, man. So we'll all right, well, we'll do it again in a few days, man. And if you actually watch this or listen to it, subscribe and give us ideas. And if you know how to get in touch with Ike Fontaine, hook us up. And do it again in a couple days. I'm going to the Timbers tomorrow. Not doing it tomorrow, but
have fun. Fun.
Yeah, I'll send you some pics. Yeah. I know you love soccer.
I do, but I love more of the European soccer. So
yeah.
Anyways. All right, buddy.
All right. See you, Mus.
Later.
All right.